America's missing something. And it's something we're missing that's making us more desperate every day. We're missing a key point that the founders handed us when they gave us the Constitution. That point is Article 1, the very first article of our Constitution. Now, the folks that put the Constitution together were an extraordinary group, and they spent a lot of time arguing over this thing. They could have placed any part of the new government as Article 1. They could have put the presidency there. They could have put copyright laws there, or other things. They chose, in Article 1, the legislative branch. They made Congress first.
I think Article 1 is Article 1 for a very good reason. You know, this is government for, of, and by the people. The American people are the board of directors of this great nation.
Article 1 does say it gives us the powers, and it makes the legislative body a very important body, especially the House of Representatives. If you think about it, the House of Representatives is elected every 2 years. They have to represent the people.
Not Article 2 or 3, they talked about the legislative branch in Article 1. And that's why, I always tell folks, you think about the Bill of Rights, the Second Amendment is pretty darn important. That's why they put it right next to the first.
We've really gotten ourselves out of order. So the idea behind Article 1 is to help us come back to first principles. The exciting thing is that the idea of restoring a constitutional Congress would fix so many problems that we have in our country right now.
I've dealt with legislation for almost 30 years, and we've elected presidents and governors. They come and go, but at the end of the day, they all have to deal with the legislative branch, so that's where the solution lies.
I think those people in Congress must understand the people they represent, and both parties, they and the people, must understand the same truth. And that truth is the Declaration and the Constitution of the United States.
Since the end of World War II, that's back to 1945, the United States has seen 13 presidents in 12 different administrations. The Democrats have won the White House 7 times since 1945, the Republicans 5 times, so that's almost an even split. The United States House of Representatives has been controlled by Democrats for 52 years, since the end of World War II. Republicans have held a majority in the House for only 12 years. Since Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1945, the U.S. Senate has been in Democrat control for 47 years. Republicans have been the majority in the Senate for 20 years. In the past 67 years, every single Democrat president has worked with a Congress controlled by his own Democrat Party for at least a portion of his term. In the past 67 years, the Republicans, who've won the White House almost half the time, but they've controlled the Congress for only 1/2 of one presidential administration. So what's the point? It's not political parties. The Round Table is a fiercely independent organization. We hold the same position on political parties as George Washington and John Adams. We think political parties divide us, and they're all dangerous to the Republic. The point of this history lesson is that it proves that Congress, not the White House, actually controls public policy. Presidents come and go, but Congress lasts a lifetime. The question is, do you have a seat at the table? When Congress is in session, is there someone there representing your concerns? One of the best things we can do, one of the most important things we can do, is to restore a constitutional Congress. That goal is within our reach. I think of people like Sam Adams and John Adams and John Quincy Adams. They were never in the vast majority. They were always those folks that went out on a limb that said, we can do this if enough of us pull together and try. And they were right. We can restore a constitutional Congress to the United States of America if enough of us make the commitment to try. It's far more important than who the next president becomes. It's far more important than who the next 10 presidents become. That America has a functional, constitutional Congress. That's what Article 1's all about.
I think if the House, as Americans, make decisions, we can get a lot accomplished. Because at that point in time, you don't have the Republican or Democrat hat that you're wearing. You really have an American hat, which is what I believe we all should be wearing.
I think our founders got it exactly right. The power of the United States of America needs to remain vested in the hands of the people.
Article 1 is of utmost importance, and restoring that is maybe the most important thing that can happen as we're thinking about making sure America remains the greatest nation ever.
Liberty's always been against the odds. The fact of the matter is, there's a motto in the state of Ohio where the Round Table actually began. It's actually pulled from the words of the New Testament. If you look for the state motto in Ohio, it'll say this: with God, all things are possible. That's still true today. Whether we live in Florida or Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, North Carolina, restoring a constitutional Congress, rediscovering Article 1 is possible.